You've spent most of your life taking care of others, your family, your home, your career. You've been the backbone, the caretaker, the planner, the peacekeeper. And somewhere along the way, you probably stopped checking in on one very important thing: yourself, your body, how it feels, how it functions, and yes, even how it smells. Now, I know that's not a topic most people want to talk about. It's awkward, right? Maybe even a little embarrassing. But let's be honest, we've all had that moment. You catch a faint whiff and think, is that me? And then you brush it off because you showered. You're clean. You're not out running marathons or working construction. So what's going on? Here's the truth no one told us. After 60, our bodies change in quiet, sneaky ways. The way we sweat, the way our skin holds moisture, the way bacteria interacts with us, it all shifts. And suddenly, even if you're doing everything right, you might start feeling just a little off. And the worst part? Nobody warned us. Not our moms, not our doctors, not the glossy magazines. That's why this video matters, because we're going to talk about the 7 surprising reasons why you might not smell as fresh as you used to, and how to fix every single one of them with simple, honest steps that work. No shame, no weird detoxes, no judgment. Just real advice from someone who's been through it, made the mistakes, and came out the other side a whole lot wiser and a whole lot fresher. So if you've ever wondered what's changed, why it's happening, and what you can actually do about it, you're in the right place. Let's start this conversation that no one else is having. You deserve to feel good in your own body every single day. 1. The hidden culprit: dehydration. Dry inside, smelly outside. How not drinking enough water affects your body odor. Let me start with something that surprised even me. Not drinking enough water can actually make you smell worse. And I'm not just talking about feeling thirsty or having dry skin. I'm talking about body odor, bad breath, even musty-smelling sweat. All of it can be linked to one simple thing: dehydration. Now, I used to think I was doing fine. A couple of cups of tea in the morning, maybe a glass of water with dinner if I remembered. That's enough, right? I wasn't running around, I wasn't sweating. But one day my doctor looked at me and said, "Your skin looks tired." Not dry, not old, tired. And it stuck with me, because he was right. I was dragging myself through the day, not feeling my best. My breath had this sourness to it, and even though I was showering regularly, there was this underlying odor I couldn't quite shake, and I didn't realize it was all connected. Here's what's happening. When your body doesn't get enough water, it can't flush out toxins the way it's supposed to. Your kidneys, your liver, your entire system depends on hydration to do their jobs. So when you're dehydrated, those waste products don't just disappear. They get pushed out through other ways: your sweat, your urine, your breath. And when that happens, things start to smell off. It's not just about how much you drink either. As we get older, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. You might not feel thirsty at all, even when your body desperately needs fluids. Medications like blood pressure pills and diuretics can make things even worse. And don't even get me started on those dry mouth side effects from so many prescriptions we're on after 60. So what can you do? First, let go of the idea that you'll feel thirsty before you need to drink. That signal doesn't always work anymore. Instead, create a habit. I started keeping a small glass water bottle right next to me, at my desk, on the couch, even by my bed. Something lightweight, no plastic smell, easy to refill. I add a slice of lemon or cucumber sometimes, just to make it feel a little fancy. And let me tell you, the changes came fast. Within days, my urine was lighter, my breath was cleaner, and my skin, especially around my neck and underarms, started to smell fresher without needing to use anything extra. It wasn't some miracle product. It was just water. Consistent, simple hydration. Doctors generally recommend 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, even if you're not out there jogging. If that sounds like a lot, remember, it can include herbal tea, fruit-infused water, even breathy soups. Every sip helps. The point is to stay ahead of your body's needs, not play catch-up when it's already showing signs of fatigue. So if you're doing all the hygiene things right, bathing, deodorant, clean clothes, but you're still feeling just a little off, start with your water. I know it seems too simple to matter, but I promise you, it does. You'll feel better, smell fresher, and your whole body will thank you. 2. Wearing clean clothes that aren't really clean. Looks clean, feels clean, smells not so great. Let me ask you something. How many times have you pulled a sweater off the back of a chair and thought, "It's fine, I only wore it around the house"? I used to do that all the time, especially with my cardigans, my favorite comfy tops, and let's not even talk about bras. If it didn't look dirty, I figured it wasn't dirty. But here's what no one tells us. Just because something looks clean doesn't mean it smells clean. Or worse, it might not smell yet, but it's building up to something unpleasant. See, after 60, our skin changes. We sweat differently. Our body still produces oil, especially under the arms and around the chest. And even if you're just sitting and watching TV or doing a little gardening, your clothes are soaking it up, little by little, day by day. That, just wore it for a couple hours mindset, it's exactly how the problem sneaks in. I remember this one afternoon. I had a friend come over for tea. I was wearing my usual soft gray cardigan. Cozy, loose, nothing fancy. She leaned in to give me a hug, and I caught this faint, stale smell. And I thought, oh no, is that me? I sniffed the cardigan later, and sure enough, it had this old, musty scent like laundry that sat too long in the washer. And the crazy thing, I had only worn it twice that week. The issue is we tend to re-wear things without a system to track it. We forget how many times we've worn something. And with bras especially, the underband area collects sweat and skin cells quickly, even if you're not sweating buckets. It's warm, it's dark, it's the perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria. Here's what helped me turn that around. I created a lightly worn laundry basket. Not the full dirty hamper, just a soft bin where I place anything I've worn once or twice but don't want to forget about. That way, I don't fall into the trap of re-wearing something 5 or 6 times and then wondering why my clothes have this odd smell I can't place. I also started washing my bras every 2 to 3 wears, even if I thought they looked fine. I rotate between a few favorites so I'm never stuck with just one. And I air out anything I wore out in public, especially on hot days, or if I did a lot of walking. It's not about being overly clean or fussy. It's about being aware. Fabrics hold on to more than just memories. They hold on to odor. And the longer we ignore it, the harder it is to get out. So next time you catch a whiff and can't figure out where it's coming from, check your clean clothes. The culprit might not be your body. It might be that cardigan from 3 tea parties ago. 3. The bed you sleep in might be the problem. You feel fresh at night, but wake up smelling off? Here's why. Let me take you back a few years. I had just started being really intentional with my self-care. I was showering every night, brushing, flossing, even trying a new rosewater body mist I loved. I'd climb into bed feeling clean, soft, and ready to relax. But the weird thing was, by morning, I didn't feel fresh anymore. I'd wake up with my hair smelling kind of sour and my skin felt sticky. Not dirty, but not clean either. At first, I thought maybe it was just menopause messing with me. Hormones do strange things, right? But then my doctor said something that clicked. He asked, "How often are you changing your pillowcases?" And I said, "Well, when they start to look dirty?" And he gave me that look, the one that says, "You're missing something obvious." Here's what's happening. Every night our bodies release heat, sweat, oil, and dead skin cells. And where do they go? Right into our sheets, especially our pillowcases. Even if you go to bed squeaky clean, your body keeps doing its job while you sleep. Add in a hot flash or two, and you've got yourself a little ecosystem of moisture and bacteria. And if those pillowcases are a few days old, that smell starts to build. It's not just about smell either. Your skin is lying against those fabrics for hours, night after night. And for women our age, our skin can be thinner and more sensitive. Sleeping on a buildup of bacteria can lead to irritation, breakouts along the jawline or chest, even itchy scalps. I know, because I've been there. So what's the fix? It's surprisingly simple. I started changing my pillowcases every 3 to 4 days, not the whole sheet set, just the pillowcases. I even keep 2 clean ones in my nightstand, so there's no excuse. Quick swap, fresh head. I also try to wash my sheets once a week. If that feels like too much, at least pull back the covers each morning and let the bed breathe. Trapped moisture equals trapped odor. And here's a little trick I picked up from an old housekeeping column. Add a splash of white vinegar to the wash when you do your bedding. Not enough to make it smell like salad, just a 1/4 cup or so. It helps kill odor-causing bacteria and leaves everything feeling crisp and fresh. There's something powerful about slipping into a clean bed. It doesn't just smell better, it feels better. And the difference in how you feel when you wake up? Night and day. So if you've ever thought, why do I feel a little stale in the morning even when I showered the night before? Don't blame yourself. Blame your pillowcase, and then change it. Hygiene. 4. The natural trend that backfires. Skipping deodorant in the name of clean living? Let's talk. I'm going to say something that might ruffle a few feathers, but it needs to be said. Somewhere along the way, many of us started to believe that using deodorant is unnatural. We hear things like aluminum is toxic, or you shouldn't block your sweat, or let your body detox naturally. And I get it. I've been there. In fact, a few years ago, I jumped on that bandwagon myself. I tossed out all my deodorants. I told myself, this is the healthy thing to do. I wanted to be clean, chemical-free, natural. And for the first couple of weeks, it felt empowering, like I was taking control of my body again. But then, real life happened. There was this Sunday morning at church. I leaned forward to pass a hymnal to the woman sitting next to me. Sweet lady, always dressed to the nines, and she just ever so slightly leaned back. Not rudely, just enough for me to feel it. And that's when it hit me. I could smell myself, and it wasn't good. I went home and cried, not because of embarrassment, but because I realized that my good intentions had backfired. I was trying to be kind to my body, but I wasn't listening to what it was telling me. Here's the thing nobody tells you. After menopause, our body chemistry changes. The type of sweat we produce, especially in the underarms and groin, is thicker, oilier, and more prone to breaking down into odor. That's not vanity. That's biology. The bacteria that lives on our skin interacts with that sweat. And the result? A smell that feels stronger than it used to. Because it is. So does that mean you need to slather yourself in chemicals? Of course not. There's a middle ground. There are so many deodorant options now that are free from aluminum, parabens, and artificial fragrances. Look for natural ingredients like baking soda, magnesium, arrowroot powder, tea tree oil, or coconut oil. Some brands are even formulated specifically for mature skin, gentle on the surface, but tough on odor. The key is this. Don't skip deodorant altogether. Being natural doesn't have to mean being smelly. There's a difference between sweating, which is healthy, and letting bacteria throw a party under your arms. I now use a natural deodorant that works with my skin, not against it. I reapply midday if I need to, and guess what? I still feel clean. I still feel like I'm taking care of myself. But now, no one's leaning away from me in church. So if you've gone au naturel and are wondering why things feel off, this might be your answer. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just due for a refresh, not of your philosophy, but of your products. 5. Skipping invisible body parts. If you can't see it in the mirror, it still needs washing. Let's be honest. Most of us have been showering the same way since we were teenagers. We do the basics. Arms, legs, face, underarms, maybe feet if we're feeling fancy. But after a certain age, that quick rinse and go routine just doesn't cut it anymore. Because there are parts of our body, parts we don't always see or feel or think about, that start to change in ways we didn't expect. And those areas? They're often the source of odor that catches us off guard. I'll never forget one hot summer day. I had rushed through my morning shower before heading to my granddaughter's birthday party. Balloons, cupcakes, the whole 9 yards. But every so often I'd catch this faint smell. Nothing terrible, just off. I kept checking the trash can, thinking maybe something spoiled. But no. Hours later, when I got home and started changing clothes, I realized it had been me. I'd skipped a few out-of-sight spots in the shower, and that little shortcut came back to haunt me. After 60, our skin starts to fold more, under the breasts, along the belly, behind the knees, around the groin. And those folds, they trap moisture, warmth, and bacteria, the perfect combination for odor. Even behind the ears, yes, behind the ears, can collect oil and sweat. When's the last time you scrubbed there on purpose? What makes it trickier is that these areas often don't look dirty. There's no visible grime, no sweat pouring off. But the bacteria doesn't care. If it's warm and a little damp, it's home sweet home. So here's what I do now. When I shower, I slow down. I use a soft washcloth, not a rough loofah, and gently clean under my breasts, around my stomach folds, behind my ears, even between my toes. I use a non-drying cleanser with a neutral pH, something that won't strip the skin. And when I get out, I don't rub. I pat dry, especially in the folds. In the summertime, I even dust a little cornstarch-based powder under my bra line. Nothing heavy, just enough to stay dry and fresh. It takes maybe 2 extra minutes. But the difference? It's night and day. This isn't about being squeaky clean or obsessing over every inch. It's about awareness. Our bodies are changing, and they need different care than they did 30 years ago. Ignoring those invisible zones won't make the problem go away. It just makes it sneakier. So next time you shower, ask yourself, did I really wash everywhere? And if the answer is probably not, no shame. Just adjust. Your nose, and everyone else's, will thank you. 6. Oral hygiene isn't just for your smile. Clean teeth, fresh breath, and why that's not enough anymore. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever woken up in the morning with a bad taste in your mouth, even after brushing the night before? That used to happen to me more times than I'd like to admit. I'd do a quick rinse, maybe brush for a minute, and call it good. I figured I wasn't eating late, I wasn't drinking coffee after dinner, so why was my mouth still feeling and smelling off? Well, here's what I learned the hard way. After 60, your mouth doesn't work the same way it used to. Our saliva production slows down, especially if you're on medications for blood pressure, allergies, or mood. Less saliva means your mouth can't naturally rinse away bacteria. And that bacteria, it loves to party all night long. On your tongue, between your teeth, under your dentures. And it leaves behind a smell that can be stronger than you realize. I'll tell you a story. I have a dear friend named Ellie, sharp as a tack, always smiling. But for a while, something was off. Her breath had this sourness to it that she didn't notice, but others did. Turns out she'd been sleeping in her dentures every single night. Her doctor later found a mild fungal infection on the roof of her mouth. Why? Because the bacteria had nowhere to go. It was trapped under that denture like a little greenhouse. Here's the thing. Good oral hygiene after 60 isn't just about brushing your teeth. It's about the whole mouth. Your gums, your tongue, your cheeks, and yes, your dentures if you wear them. So now, I treat my mouth like part of my nightly self-care ritual. I brush thoroughly, not just my teeth, but also my tongue. I use a tongue scraper a few times a week, which I used to think was silly until I saw the difference. I floss every night, even if it feels like a chore. And I rinse with an alcohol-free mouthwash that doesn't dry out my mouth further. And if I'm wearing dentures, I take them out, clean them, and soak them in a gentle cleanser overnight. Not just to be clean, but to give my mouth a chance to breathe. The result? I wake up with a mouth that feels fresh, not minty from products, but truly clean. And when I lean in to hug someone or say hello at brunch, I don't have to wonder if they're catching something unpleasant. Bad breath isn't just a minor issue. It's often a sign of imbalance inside your mouth and inside your body. And when we take care of that small space, it ripples out to how we feel, how we eat, even how we connect with others. So if you've been brushing but still feel like something's missing, don't skip the tongue, don't skip the floss, and please don't sleep in your dentures. Your smile deserves more than surface-level care. It deserves a fresh start every day. 7. The perfume myth. Covering it up doesn't fix it, it just makes it funky. Let me tell you a little secret. I used to carry one of those body sprays in my purse everywhere I went. You know the kind. Floral, fruity, sometimes with glitter if I was feeling fun, and anytime I felt even the slightest bit not fresh, I'd give myself a few spritzes. Behind the ears, under the arms, maybe even down the shirt if no one was looking. I thought I was being clever. Smelling like vanilla or lavender had to be better than, well, the alternative. But here's the thing. After a certain age, our bodies change. And so does how scent sits on our skin. The truth is, most perfumes and body sprays don't get rid of odor. They just layer on top of it. So instead of covering a smell, what you're really doing is creating a strange cocktail. 1 part sweat, 1 part bacteria, and 1 part synthetic rose petals. And that does not smell like elegance. It smells like something went wrong at the perfume counter. I learned this the hard way at a dinner party. I was feeling rushed, skipped my usual shower, and went for the spray and pray method. About an hour into the evening, I hugged a friend and she said, you smell interesting. Not what you want to hear, not ever. The other problem is that most body sprays and perfumes are alcohol-based, and as we age, our skin becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive. That quick spritz that used to make us feel refreshed can now lead to irritation, redness, even rashes, especially in places like the neck, underarms, or chest. And let's not forget your skin's microbiome, that natural balance of bacteria that actually helps protect you from odor. Harsh sprays can throw that completely out of whack, making the odor worse over time, not better. So what's the alternative? You don't have to give up smelling good. You just have to be smarter about how you do it. These days, I use an unscented, gentle antibacterial body wash in the shower to truly remove odor-causing bacteria. And if I want a little scent, I dab a tiny bit of essential oil, like sweet orange or lavender, onto my scarf, the ends of my hair, or even my purse lining. That way, I still get a lovely fragrance without putting it directly on my skin. It's subtle. It's elegant. And best of all, it doesn't mix with whatever my body is going through that day. The truth is, you can't Febreze your way out of body odor. Trust me, I've tried. But when you start from a clean, healthy foundation, you don't need to cover anything up. You just need to enhance what's already fresh. So if your go-to fix has been to mask the problem, maybe it's time to clear the air, literally and figuratively. Your body deserves better than a quick spray. It deserves care. It's not about vanity. It's about vitality. So there you have it, my friend. 7 surprising reasons why you might not feel as fresh as you used to, and 7 simple ways to take that feeling back. And the truth is, none of this is about being perfect. It's not about smelling like roses 24/7 or meeting someone else's standard of beauty. It's about you, how you feel in your body, in your skin, in your daily life. It's about walking into a room with confidence, knowing you took care of yourself not out of shame, but out of self-respect. Because when we talk about hygiene after 60, what we're really talking about is health, awareness, dignity. And no one teaches us this stuff. Our mothers didn't talk about it. Most doctors don't bring it up unless we ask. So if you've ever felt like you were figuring it out alone, you're not. We're figuring it out together. Start small. Maybe it's keeping an extra pillowcase by your bed. Maybe it's drinking one more glass of water a day. Maybe it's finally tossing that clean enough cardigan into the laundry. Whatever your next step is, take it. Your body will notice. So will your spirit. If this video helped you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what's one habit you're going to change this week? Or maybe share a tip that's worked for you. We learn better when we learn together. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. I've got more honest, heart-centered advice coming your way. No fluff, no fear, just real talk for women who've earned the right to age on their own terms. And don't forget to check out the Savvy Senior newsletter. It's where I share the stories, solutions, and soft landings that don't always fit in a video, but always matter. Until next time, stay fresh, stay wise, and stay beautifully you.